Roll 6.
This is roll 6 with Nicole Holland. Okay, we're talking about when you first saw your brother.
Well, he passed in front of me, and I just couldn't say his name. My throat was blocked. I couldn't believe my eyes. But when he passed to go to another room, I started screaming his name out, Robert. And he turned around and he saw me, and I don't have to tell you what happened. We kissed and we loved for at least 10 minutes, and we cried. And I told him, whoever was here, I said, there's still 7 of us now, you're back, alive. And he was just real. And so I went and called my brother Jacques. And he did have to go down to a cafe. And I told Jacques, don't say nothing. I got something to tell you. But promise me you won't scream or something. I said, I got Robert with me. And he said, what? And I could hear him cry. He said, I don't believe you. And I said, would I tell you a thing like that if he wasn't with me? And I said, I'm taking care of him with his paper, with his food. And as soon as we be through, I'll bring him to you. He said, okay. And then we just, after I took care of him, and I just took off. I just took Robert, and we went to my brother Jacques, and he stayed with Jacques for a little while. And then I keep on.
Where had he been?
He'd been in 4 different camps. And, but for a long time, we didn't, we respect his privacy. We didn't want to talk. He didn't want to talk about it. We didn't want to say anything.
When did you find out what happened to your parents?
When Robert came in, But we did have a good, we knew. The only things I was really hoping would come back. I didn't think Robert would come back. He was too young. He was 16 years old, and he looked like 12, when they took him. But my sister Helen was so strong, and I was thinking, and I got sick over it, really sick. After I quit with the CAVF, there was a girl, a friend, who came back. But the story she told me was very, very terrible. She said she didn't see my sister, but she found out because Robert was singing. He wrote a song when he was a little boy, and he was singing, and my sister sang it through the camp. And there was some Jewish girl who would sing that, and she asked her, she said, she knew the people from Rue des Deux Ponts, the only one who knew the song, And she said, where did you hear the song? She said, there was a beautiful French girl here, because my sister was beautiful. Beautiful French girl, and she was singing the songs all the time. And she told her, she said, what happened to her? And she said, she got sick, and they took her to the infirmary. And she said, what I heard after that, they experimented on her. But I got sick. In my mind, I was saying she's going to come back. I couldn't bear the thought of not coming back. But anyhow, then I worked with 2 French girls, 2 Catholic girls. And when the thing was over, one of the girls, they were living in Orly, and she said, we won't see you anymore. And I said, oh, maybe someday, sometime. And she said, why don't you come Sunday to my house in Orly? And it's outside of Paris. And then we eat something, and then we go to the dancing at in the camp, in the field, Orly field. The American was stationed there. So I went, and there was one of the girls were engaged to an American boy. And the mother speak very well. She was a teacher, and she was teaching English. And she said, she told me when I got there, she said, why don't you eat and go with the girls dancing tonight? You know, Louisette and Claudine, and you can go dancing, and then you can go home, you know. And I said, okay. But we went dancing, and I sat there. I didn't understand a word what the American was saying, you know. And just nobody was inviting me to dance. Naturally, they didn't know. They didn't know me or anything, and they were talking. Then my future husband was sitting at a table next, and he got up and asked my friend to dance, and she didn't want to dance. She wanted to listen. So he asked me, and I said, well, I came here to dance, you know. He asked me to dance. I'm going to dance. We did several dances together.
What's his name?
Bruce Holland. And so we danced several dances, and then it was too late for me to take the train to go back home. So this friend asked him, she said, could you take her? There was a bus was taking some of the girls back home, you know, and some of the GI would go to Paris. So could you take her to Paris, you know, for her to go back home? Because I was afraid. Madeleine, I was living with Madeleine then. Madeleine and Jean and Robert, you know, Robert. And so we get our apartment back, and it's where we lived. So he took me back in Paris, and he asked me if he could see me the next day. He was off the next day, and I said, yeah, but I didn't have. I made an appointment with Claudine. We were supposed to go to a movie the next day. And so my husband was there before I arrived, you know, and he was waiting, and he said, oh, she's not going to come. And he started walking, you know, off to go somewhere, I don't know, and I come in. So we went to the movie to see an American movie.
So when did you get married?
We got married, I met him the 18th of May, 1946, and we got married October the 5th, 1946.
Where did you get married?
We got married in Paris first, and then in Orly by a chaplain.
Okay, we were talking about when you got married.
My family gave me a beautiful wedding, and we got married in Paris first.
Did you have a Jewish wedding?
No. No. And we got married at 11 o'clock in the morning by the French government, and then we got married at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in front of a Baptist minister, which I didn't understand a word what he was saying. And later on the years, I told my husband, I wasn't married to you. I didn't know what I was telling you. You know, it's true.
How had your thoughts on Judaism changed because of the war?
Because of the war. I was ashamed for a little while, ashamed to say that I was Jewish. I really was. I was mad. But I told my husband, I said, first, when he asked me to marry him, I said, I can't. First of all, I'm a Jew, and then I'm older than you are. I'm 4 years older than he is. And he said, who cares? He said, I don't care. He said, I want to marry you. So we got married. He asked, well, since he was underage, he asked permission for his parents. And his parents told him when he left, he said, don't you bring me back a foreign girl, you know. But
what were your thoughts on God after the war?
Oh, I didn't believe there was a God. I really didn't believe. But taking my mother and my parents, who never done anything to anybody, who my mother helped so many people before, you know, besides helping us, do you think I believe there was a God who could punish my parents? What did they done? If God was there, and my parents were religious, and my uncle was a lot more religious than my father, because you would go, very seldom, at night maybe I saw my father putting the little things, you know, and praying. But my uncle, morning, noon, and night, and what kind of days did he have? the same days. Religious people like that, God would punish them? No, not to me. I just couldn't believe it.
Did you ever?
Well, I realized, later on in years, there must be something, but I still cannot say why. Why did it happen? Why? Sure, there's some good people, there are bad people. Why did this? It did have to happen to me or to us because we were such a close family, and our parents was everything under the sun, and so I married my husband. I married this young man who was wonderful.
When did you come to America?
I came in America in December the 18th, 1946. It's when we landed in America. And my husband is from Texas, originally from Texas. And we got to Texas on the 22nd. Well, he got demobilized in New Jersey. And I was waiting for him in New York. And we left for home, and it took 2 days to travel by train to go from.
Did you have children after you came to America?
Well, yes, we started a family. I got 2 daughters.
When did you start a family?
Before I got to America, Barbara was started, which I didn't know, but. The oldest one is named Barbara.
And when was she born?
She born on August the 4th, 1947. And I got engaged on August the 4th, 1946. And that's why there are 3 dates I cannot forget. And my second daughter was born. Her name is Brenda, and she was born in 1949, March the 6th, 1949. And I got 4 granddaughters.
What are their names?
The name is Rebecca, Tamra, Jennifer, and Suzanne. And I got 2 step-grandchildren. Her name is Jennifer and Michael. And then I got 4 great-granddaughters, Delane, Marie, Robin is the oldest one, Robin, Delane, Marie, and Olive, but we call her Ollie.
What was the adjustment like to America?
Very hard. I didn't know the language. I hated the food. I was miserable, and my husband found a job. We went then to Dallas. And my husband found a job right away. And then it was very, very hard to find an apartment. One of his uncles did have an apartment, so we rented it. And we stayed in Dallas for quite some time. And then we moved to Irving, which it's in Texas.
Where were the rest of your siblings? The surviving?
They all stayed in Paris.
Did anybody come to America?
No. To live in America? No. Oh, I'm sorry. What am I saying? No. Yes, in 1949, my brother Robert came to America. Oh, my word. I'm ashamed. I'm so ashamed. For a minute, I didn't know what you was talking. I was thinking you was talking about the rest of the family. I was thinking you knew my brother was here. Because he done this before, and his name is Robert Clary. Oh, dear Father, forgive me. But
did you ever raise your children with the information about what you had suffered?
No. For the longest, I wouldn't tell them I was Jew.
Why not?
Because I didn't want them to suffer what I went through. I didn't want them to go through what I was through. Telling her dirty Jew, calling them dirty Jew, because there's still anti-Semitism here in America too, because I've been called dirty Jew. I've been called dirty Jew by a teacher. Not just me, but the whole class. They call us dirty race. It's
Where
what she
was
called
this?
us. When I was in grade school. The teacher called us a dirty race.
What about in America? Did you?
No, I never did have in trouble. But you know,
Did,
my
did you
friends,
befriend any Jews in Texas when you moved?
one lady, I befriended her in the apartment. We lived in a Jewish part of the town. My uncle was did have a house in a Jewish, in Dallas, in a Jewish part of town.
Did you tell them that you were Jewish?
I told her when I was Jewish, but we didn't stay there very long. After Barbara was born, we moved, and we bought us a little house, and we moved, and I never did see her again.
When did you first tell your daughters about your experiences?
When my oldest one was 16.
What was her reaction, their reaction?
Why didn't you tell us before? That's what they said. And I said, I didn't want them to happen to you. I didn't want people to call you a dirty Jew in school or anywhere else, you know, because people can be so mean. And my oldest one is very, very proud, you know. I mean, in fact, she married a boy who is half Jew too. His mother is Jewish, but they was raised here, you know. Her mother was born in New York. And his father is not Jew.
What kind of religion? Did you practice any religion?
No.
Do you practice religion
No.
now?
No. And my children either. And my grandchildren either. But my oldest daughter, took them. They said, well, you got to choose. I take you to a synagogue one time. I take you to a church one time. And you would decide which one you prefer. We don't want any. You know, they got older and they said, we don't. Now, Tamra was the only one who said, she's loved to hear me talk about the Holocaust and everything. And she of the churches, also my daughter took her, she said, the synagogue is the best. But they don't go either, they don't practice.
What are your thoughts on being a Jew today?
Today?
What is your connection to?
You know what? You know where the Jewish people meet? In Fayetteville? In a Unitarian church. There are not too many.
Do you meet with them?
No. We don't do nothing. I meet my children, I'm sorry to say. I'm not a good Jew, I guess. But inside, you know, in my heart, I am a Jew. It's all it is. But we don't, we don't practice anything.
Why is it important for you to give your testimony?
Because I want my children to have it, to remember. They know, but my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, I want them to know what happened to me.
What kind of message would you like to give to them?
To my children?
To your grandchildren, your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren.
Just be proud what you are and never be ashamed. You know, this is what I want to, because I was ashamed, and I'm ashamed to say it. I was ashamed to say it. I just didn't want to believe, you know. And I want them to be, they are wonderful people anyhow, but never to change the way they are. It's what I want to. And to my grandchildren, they know me. So really, really well. My great-grandchildren, well, they're still too little. So their parents will tell them about their great-grandmother. But my granddaughters, the youngest one is 20 years old, so it's just, I get pictures.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. This is my brother, Holland.
Wait.
Okay. Please introduce this man.
This is my brother, my younger brother, Robert. He was the baby of the family. He's still our baby. And we just love him to death. I just love him to death. But my sisters do.
This is the first time I'm being mute.
Well, you can say something.
Well, this is my sister, Cecile, Schipper, Nicole, Nikki, whatever you want to call it. I was Reuven, Robert, Wiederman, Clary, and I guess I do like her. I mean, there's a sister between us. And I'm glad she came to visit me so she can give her testimony.
And I'm really glad to be here with him.
You do love me, do you?
I love you.
See, I was very lucky. I was the last one of 14 children.
We all love them.
Pampered, bratty, and still am a little bit.
Spoiled by my brothers and my sisters.
And my mother and my father.
Yeah, well, we all were spoiled.
I guess she told you everything about the loss of all the family and everything, and how wonderful it was to see her when I came back to France. And she has a huge family. She's a great-grandmother. I'm a great-grandfather. And it is amazing how the years passes by, and here we are. Here we are. It's amazing. I'm 5'2", and I'm the tallest one in the family.
Is there anything that you'd like to say to her?
I would like to say to her to stay as sweet as she always has been, and being proud of being Jewish, and being proud of having a wonderful family. And
thank you very much. I love you too.
Okay.
Well, I did forget to say many.
What did you say? I hear you didn't know you had siblings in America.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Thank you.
this is my grandfather and my grandmother. It's Robert Widerman and Ellen Widerman. It was taken in Poland. The year, I don't know for sure.
Approximately when?
In the 80s, late 80s, I think.
No,
1880s. 1800. I really don't know when. No. This is the picture of my mother's passport when we first arrived in France. The top one is my sister Elaine. Then on the left side is my sister Ida. My sister Amy in the middle. Me on my mother's lap.
Your name?
Your name?
Oh, my name is Cécile Widerman. Was Cécile Widerman.
When was it
And
taken?
it was taken in 1923
Where?
in Paris, in Poland. In Poland, before we got here.
In Warsaw?
In Warsaw, Poland. This is the picture of my parents, Bert and Maurice Widerman, and it was taken in 1930 in Paris. This is a picture of my sister and I. On the left is my sister Elaine, and I'm next to her. And it was taken in Paris in 1925.
Your name?
My name is Nicole.
In this picture?
And this picture was Cécile. Then I was called Cécile.
Your last name?
Widerman, no, you don't need to have. This is the picture of me and at my bat mitzvah. It was taken in 1935 in Paris.
What is your name?
And my name is Cécile Widerman. This is a picture of the children lived in our apartment house. On the left, this is before we were the Star of David. It was taken in 1941. And on the left, the little boy on the left was Roger Elvasser. The next to him was Paulette Zeliszewski. The next to her is Madeleine Widerman. The boy sitting on the top of his name was Salomon Schwimmer. The next one is my brother Robert Widerman, and I'm right next to him, Cécile Widerman. This is a picture of our wedding. On the left is a friend of mine in Paris. Her name was Marcel Chalier. My husband, Bruce Holland. Me, Cécile Widerman. And the best man name was David Alton.
What's the name you used on this day?
On this day, Nicole Widerman.
And you became?
I become Nicole Holland.
And when and where was it taken?
It was taken in 1946.
Where?
In October 1946, it was taken in Holyfield.
Paris, France.
In Paris. Orly is not Paris.
France.
France. It was taken in France. This is a picture taken in 1990 in Paris. This is my brother my two brothers and my two sisters and I. On the left is my brother, our oldest brother, Jacques, which is dead now. Next to him, it's me, Nicole, Holland. Next to me is my sister, Madeleine Vigier. My brother, Robert, on the top, Robert Clary. And my sister, the oldest one of us girl left, is Amy Zelonka, taken in Paris in 1990. This is a picture taken in the Holocaust Museum in Paris. It's my two granddaughters, my oldest granddaughters, with my great-granddaughter, and I. One is Tamara Reed.
On the left is Tamara Reed.
On the left is Tamara Reed. Next to her is Rebecca Reed, the oldest one, and she's holding her baby.
What's her name?
Robin, and me, Nicole Holland.
Where was it?
I want to correct it. This picture was taken in Dallas, Texas, not in Paris. I'm sorry. This picture was taken in our house in Dangerfield, Texas, starting with my husband on the top, Bruce Holland. Then in front of him is my granddaughter, Suzanne Smith. Next to her is sitting down on the floor, it's her mother, Brenda Hancock, with her husband, Don Hancock. Next to him is Barbara Scott. And behind her...
Who is she? Who is Barbara Scott?
Oh, this is my daughter, Barbara Scott. I'm sorry. Behind her is Robin, my great-granddaughter. Then Rebecca Como. Next to her is Jennifer Smith. Next to her
Who's Jennifer Smith?
Jennifer Smith is my granddaughter. And next to her is Jennifer Hancock, Don's daughter. I forgot. Now we go back. I forgot, I'm sorry. Rebecca's husband, Ben Como, and I'm standing behind Ben. It was taken in 1991.
Okay.